we're going to have a look at a story now. Now, there's a part of this which a lot of you may not be interested in. I am a political tragic. I love to consume international political news. I love to consume international media news. There's a couple of podcasts in America. One of them's Tim Pool, one of them's Dave Rubin. And recently they got caught up in it. When I say innocently, they were not aware that money that was being funded to them through a third party was coming from Russia. They didn't question getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the same show they were doing. So what had happened is this money from Russia had found some people speaking the right narratives in America, and they wanted to support those narratives, so they just flooded them with money. Tim Pool was one of the guys caught up in it. Do you remember the name Milo Yiannopoulos, Magenta?
Yes, unfortunately I do.
Well, Milo Yiannopoulos, who's been kind of kicked out of the alt-right because he's gay, because that's how they roll.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make a bit of a resurgence now as a born-again Christian. He was on Tim Pool, and he has shown, and this is the connection that I was saying, he has shown behind the curtain how the right grows so fast in independent news and why they're dominating it. And this is an American story, but I just want people to think about when I play the second clip, you know, maybe a group over here that got a big investment of money at the start that's helped them grow. The same group that's still not yet profitable, still losing money, but they're being supported along by big lump sums of money. So let's go. This is what Milo Yiannopoulos looks like now. That's the look he's going with. And the first part I'm just playing for you, if you guys do know Tim Pool, or Pim Tool, as CJ Dunn saying, is that Milo Yiannopoulos obviously didn't know that Tim Pool was caught up in this thing, because he basically goes on a rant against those people taking Russian money in front of Tim Pool when Tim Pool was one of the people taking Russian money. I just wanted to play this to give you context, but it's the second part I want to show you about how Milo reveals how the right and independent media grows so quickly.
Sure. There very well may be that was coming. There very well may be individuals who their ad person comes to them and says,
by the way, I'm playing this off the Majority Report thanks to Sam and Emma, because this episode of Tim Pool's been taken down. So you can't find it, because apparently Milo did something awful, which is his MO. But these guys have got it. So we're watching along with Sam and Emma.
NGO wants to spend $100,000 in ads on your show, and they say
you're doing that conservative thing of giving too much credit.
No, I'm saying in general, big picture.
No, they know exactly where the money's coming from. Dave Rubin knew where the money was coming from when it was coming from Russia. He used it to buy his children.
That is 100% false.
So remember, Tim Pool got that same money from Russia. Milo doesn't know this yet.
To buy his children. That is 100% false, and you know that ropes me into it, and I can verify it's 100% false.
All right.
Completely untrue.
It is so,
and this is important big picture stuff, because USAID is funneling money into NGOs.
It's irresponsible.
The claim here is that USAID is funding money to NGOs, and then NGOs are funding money through to left-wing media sources. That's the actual difference. Complete horseshit. But that's it. If they are, hi guys, give us a call.
Where's the money?
Yeah, thanks very much.
In the extreme, to the point of ludicrous negligence, to not know where hundreds of thousands of dollars are coming from.
So there you go. Ludicrous, not knowing where hundreds of thousands of dollars are coming from. Now they go on in this conversation, and Milo was a pretty huge name in the alt-right, far right in America for a long time, because he was their token gay, right? Basically. And then of course he started talking about, his relationship with black men, and it got all a bit too much for them. And then they had to move him along and move him out. But this bit is fascinating, because he says, and he brings up the names Candace Owens and Ben, whatever his name is, and how they've grown so quickly. And just have a think about some of those right-wing independent media sources in New Zealand. See if you can hear a similar path.
It is no secret that a lot of bad money has gone to people on the right and on the center right, but it's typically the case that right-wing people will go and get investors rather than do advertisers, fake it till they make it, and then they'll get, sort of the big ticket advertisers. So the way Ben Shapiro, the way Candace get famous is they get Wilkes Brothers, or they get some other kind of billionaire money, and they buy
Right Family Foundation.
Engagement, they buy followers, and they sort of propel themselves to the top of the heap, and then fake it till they make it, and then eventually it's kind of sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Everybody does that.
Everybody does not do that.
Well, we've never done anything like
everybody
that.
does not do that.
So did you get what Tim Pool said? Tim Pool wanted to brush it aside by saying everybody does that. And then he realizes what he just said. And he goes, but we never did that. We never did that. Have a listen again. It's kind of hilarious.
To the top of the heap, and then fake it till they make it, and then eventually it's kind of sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Everybody does that.
Everybody does not do that.
Well, we've never done anything like that.
Everybody does not do that.
Pause it for a second.
Sam, I'm going to give a little bit of commentary from Sam. This is weird because we're a commentary show watching other people comment, but I'll play this 30 seconds of what Sam says as well.
Interesting turn. Tim says, and we've been saying this about Ben Shapiro for a long time. They bought millions of dollars of Facebook ads several years ago, and it propelled them.
Yep.
And then Tim says, everybody does that. And then says, but I didn't do it. Everybody does that. And then realizes, like, whoa, wait, no, I didn't.
Yeah. So Milo Yiannopoulos was on the inside of the alt-right, of the right in America, in the independent world. He has just told us the formula. The right will have, I don't know, let's call it a platform. And they'll go and get money first from, in America, a billionaire, in New Zealand, 100 millionaire. And then they start to grow their audience. They use that money to survive for 2, 3, 4, 5 years while they grow their audience. And then they basically become what they've been projecting since day one. And that's how the right does it. And what the left do is they start a more grassroots, I know some people don't like that word because it's been sort of taken by others, a more grassroots movement. They bumble along for a couple of years. If they find a community, they start to grow. And the reason the right dominates the independent media source. Now, when I say dominates, there's David Packman and there's, the TYT is not really left progressive anymore, but, there are people over there with multiple million followers and stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
But the right in general have more and are bigger, and certainly is where the money is. And that's what they do. They take the money first. They use that to survive off. They're able to hit the ground running with immediate full-time everything. And then they grow. And then they grow, and then they become what they're projecting. And I just thought it's a fascinating conversation from Milo to be revealing that, as stupid as he is to do so, Magenta.
Oh, absolutely. And we've got a few comments in the chat, kind of maybe picking up on some, some just people that maybe is resonating with them. And that's what it is that, like, this right-wing grift, that is what it is. They go for hatred. They go for shock factor. They also, when it comes to the right wing, like, there's been studies that have been done that also shows that, like, there is, like, personality traits that are correlated with right-wing authoritarianism. So, they often play into those facets and just, keep people in their echo chambers. Like you say, they take over the media. For every probably, like, one lefty media, you've probably got hundreds of them, to be honest, because they're kind of like the website that you showed us at the beginning, ripping us off. They're just a bunch of crap, and they just kind of see if they can make anything until they can kind of build themselves up. And then we've got people like Alex Jones who still exist with a platform.
Bill makes an interesting point as well, not just in the media area. The right flood a lobby group with money. I've told this story before. The ladies from, they just make me throw up every time I think about them. Voices for Fuckwits. Is that the name of the Voices for Fuckwits? They went around New Zealand having meetings with potential sponsors, and they held meetings. It was actually quite a clever idea. Maybe we'll mirror it one day. Meetings with like someone, they'd go to a region. And I know this because I know people who were there. They go to a region. They go to a wealthy person's home, the wealthy person puts on a meal, and then they set up on the front and they do a presentation. Reality Check Radio, they raised $5 million doing that.
Yeah. And that's insane. And I mean, the thing is, if you're doing that, it's like movie pitching. You're just basically going and trying to sell a script or like a book concept and then working from there. Also, with someone pointing out the TPU and all those things, just want to point out all the Atlas Network and like the New Zealand Initiative, all of those. We know that the New Zealand Initiative has $12.7 trillion of invested interest in New Zealand. So,
I just love it
that one in there.
when they say the quiet part out loud. Now, you saw Sam, and you guys know we're connected to Sam a little bit here. You saw him kind of laughing. Everyone knows it, but when someone says it, it's that like, see, we've been telling you. This is why it feels so, so off. Because this is often where the money is. It's not entirely true. I mean, there's lots of lefties. And I noticed someone that said, "Don't sell our don't panic. We're not selling out." That was tongue in cheek when I said send it our way. But to be honest with you, if someone wanted to do this tomorrow, what we're doing, but had a uber conservative right wing view and had this not these little randos around the internet at the moment in New Zealand, but actually had sort of the pedigree to put something on, probably wouldn't take them very long to get a good chunk of change from some international group and then to go and just hit the ground like they've got 100,000 followers when they don't, but they can pitch that out there. Then what they do is I think Milo even used these words, they can fake it till they make it, and then the money helps them to make it. So that's how it works.
And I mean, the algorithm helps them because the algorithm, it is fed way more by hatred and negativity. So they can do that. They can start these shitty white men podcasts where they're saying crazy shit. It goes off on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And then they actually do get people in.